Garden Center in DeKalb plants roots in the world of cannabis cultivation.
Yeah, 23 News reporter Sydney Stoffregan visits the new craft grow spot to talk about the future of the industry.
Bringing a different kind of education to DeKalb County, Chicago Canico and Bob's Exotics say they've officially opened their doors to the canna curious.
There's a lot of different ways to grow. There's a lot of different ways to consume.
Education, specialty soils, humidifiers, anything an at-home cannabis grower may need, Chicago Canico and Bob's Exotics got it. Without distributing the product itself, Chicago Canico prepares customers to successfully grow cannabis at home. Co-owner Charlie Colon says this business makes it more affordable for those who need it.
People need it the most. The medical patient who's really sick keeps them out of that dispensary with overpaying high prices on products they can't really afford in the first place. And it kind of keeps people off of the streets from going to that street dealer, and they don't have to feel like they're a criminal.
Directly above is Bob's Exotics, a glass shop displaying community cannabis art. Working with Cologne, owner Bobby Perez says they can answer any questions new consumers may have.
Something that separates us apart from a lot of other businesses is the educational aspect. You know, we really care about our consumers, our clients, but we want to make sure that they have like a true understanding of what they're buying.
It is illegal to grow cannabis without a proper Illinois medical card. However, Colon says anyone can visit his store to learn proper techniques for cultivation and consumption.
We're really here as a team to educate everyone from the seed to harvest and the consumption, but also to be a buffer to the community for the uneducated, to help people understand what legal cannabis really is and what it looks like.
Chicago Canico is open Tuesday through Sunday. Perez says Bob's Exotics isn't ready to sell anything yet, but he encourages people to stop by and see community works of art, all in the name of cannabis.
Thank you, Sydney. To apply for a medical marijuana card in Illinois, you must be a legal resident and have a qualifying medical condition and be 18 years or older.